Why did you say McConnell's an impediment to
Because
getting this through?
Because that's who holds. So this is going through the House. They could do a clean bill in the House Thursday and put it through clean. In the Senate, if they think they're not going to have 60, they'll hold it. So what he does is they wait until like September when there's those omnibus bills. And then they'll take this and they'll jam it underneath an omnibus bill so that it'll make it vulnerable to horse trading. Oh, you guys really want this? Well, guess what? I'm taking it out of the bill unless you give me shag carpeting exporting for Chinese. I'm not talking maybe that'll happen. That's what happened. They put in the transportation bill in an omnibus. He pulled it out because they wouldn't give him an oil export. What was it? Oil exports? It was oil exports. He wanted the ability, so he leveraged their sickness on oil exports. That can't happen this time. It's not. Forget about like morally sound. It's maniacal.
I was on the Hill the day before they passed the omnibus, the last appropriations bill, asking members about it, and they're like, "Oh, we'll see what's in it. We'll see what's in it." 24 hours later, it's passed.
Right.
So people weren't even really looking
They don't
through
know.
the bill.
It comes with all kinds of earmarks. Listen, there's thousands of earmarks in those bills. Ours was the one that got taken out because they knew just how important it was to everybody to get it passed. Now, look. I understand that this is a political place and people do things like that. Let this be outside of that realm. And I'd like to say that, like, yeah, both parties have really made it a political football. They haven't. Mitch McConnell has made this a problem. Only him. And I put the blame and the onus on him because he can fix it tomorrow. If tomorrow he said, let's do this as a clean bill, and the truth is that money, while it's important, is a rounding error compared to the kind of stuff that we waste here all the time, this would be done. And none of these people would have to be here.
Will you be meeting with the White House? Anybody in the administration on this?
I mean, it's not their issue. They're not the problem. It's not their... I have no doubt that when this bill comes out, it will be signed at the White House. They've done nothing wrong. Like, this is an appropriations issue.
So you might meet with McConnell, or you don't think so?
He wouldn't. Last time I was here, he wouldn't do it, but he met with some of them, and he certainly is, like anybody else. You know, there is pressure that you can put on him publicly, like, because let's be frank, like, this is not a questionable call. The only reason that they utilize it for horse trading is because they know how deeply certain people feel about it. It makes it a valuable chip that they then use to leverage. And that's the part. If you truly wanted to make the case that, like, we're going to have to make this work financially, everybody here would be on board for that. But that's not what happens. It's a cynical ploy. It's not fair. And by the way, coming from a guy who is in maybe the only state in the union that has both of the programs, black lung and nuclear energy, this program is formulated after. Both of them are in Kentucky, and they don't have a sunset clause. This has a sunset. So, it's like, I'm sorry to be tongue-tied, but I'm baffled. I just don't understand.
I've gone to so many different panel discussions where media critics are saying they're talking about the Russia investigation on all the main cable networks, but they're not talking enough about other economic issues. I mean, look, what do you think about that? What's your assessment of that?
The model is based on conflict. Now, I'm talking about the 24 hours. Print, I think, is a different animal, and generally, especially non-pure internet print, is generally pretty sober and has a sense of proportion. Internet culture is clickbait. And so what's done is the 24 hours are the nuclear reactor. They generate the conflict content. Then the internet comes in and they pick out the moments of the gold, the ore of like the real, like most clickbaity, most volatile moment, and they amplify those and they skew the picture. And that's how the climate, continues to feed itself. It's a conflictinator. But that's what it's based on. And so if the system is incentivized to that, and that's where the money is, it's going to be very hard to get them to generate the kind of And why this doesn't qualify for that, I don't know.
John,
But-
before I completely blow my deadlines,
Yes.
how are you feeling about today?
You know, you've been through this. This is Mike. He's been with us, you know, from the start with all this. You know, we leave here generally filled with impotent rage and feeling like you have these men and women whose humanity is on the line, whose families are on the line, they're not going to be with us next time. They're not going to be here.
So you're not feeling good.
I don't know. I would feel better if we didn't have to go through this stupid dog and pony show, and we didn't have to drag everybody down here to make the case for something that is as obvious as a case can be made. And I don't understand how they can allow these people to be used in that manner.
Was it the same as last time, though, where you get a 20-something staffer? And they
Generally,
write down
it's
notes
always
and
the
they're
same.
nice
It's
and-
guys, you hit them in the hallway and they run away, or they do that. They're gonna come on board with it. They keep assuring me that this is on pace, but like, they knew in October that this thing wasn't gonna be funded properly. And it's February. And they're talking about maybe it'll be in an omnibus in September. Like, these people don't have that kind of fucking time. And it doesn't, like, this is easier than that.
What about the kids? The kids of the parents who got affected and then had kids later. Have you heard anything about this stuff being transferred down?
I haven't. I don't know. I mean, I know the science of their illnesses is very clear. Again, it's analogous to the burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that's another group that needs to be put into this type of screening program. There needs to be a screening program. They need to be watched so that these illnesses can be caught before they become death sentences.